What is going on, everybody? We are live. That's right. SB Fantasy Football Podcast, Saturday Night Live. We're back. Um, I'm your host, Alan, and we're just gonna, I don't know, man. Let's have some fun tonight, right? We're gonna talk about whatever. I might pull up the SB Fantasy Football Listener League stuff. Look at that. Um, if you guys got any questions, start, sit, trade, all that fun stuff, just let me know. We're here to chit chat, have some fun, and just enjoy ourselves. What's up, Duncan? How we doing, brother? Hope you're doing good. It's been a busy Saturday for me, Mr. Lopez. What is going on? Um, Long day. Spent 13 hours at the ball fields today. Um, Softball season's going on, football season's here. I got home, a little something in my stomach, and here we are. Hopefully, hopefully you guys are doing good. Are all your leagues drafted? Do you guys got all that taken care of? Um, any more drafts? I've got one more draft tomorrow in a dynasty league that I'm in, and then I might do some Yahoo things, um, some bits that I kind of do every year. Right? I think I might do a kicker and defense with my first two picks. Maybe do a zero RB uh, draft strategy, a hero RB draft strategy, all that stuff. All of them drafted all A's or above. So Duncan's going to finish last place in all of his leagues because he got all A's. Congratulations, Duncan. um, but yeah, man, I'm ready to get back into the swing of things. Wanted to go live tonight just to, I don't know, let's just work out the kinks, just before next week. Next week, we got football Thursday. Can't wait. Cowboys, Eagles on Thursday. We will be the weekly show will be on Thursdays now, guys. 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, an hour before kickoff on Thursday Night Football. So we'll be able to answer those last minute start sit questions for your Thursday Night Football, as well as kind of talk about the week before and the week that's coming up. Still be here on Saturday nights. I will be doing a recap of the SB Fantasy Football Listener League video, probably on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. That video will be dropping, just talking about the week that was, matchups that are coming up, all that fun stuff. We're gonna have a lot of fun with things this year, man. What do we want to talk about, guys? We got anything we want to talk about? I know Duncan's already been firing off trade requests like crazy in the SB Fantasy Football League, um, sending out absurd requests. Duncan, let's just be honest. You sent me Matthew Golden for Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's ridiculous, sir. Right? And I think he sent something crazy to Rapid Dave too. You know, uh, seems fair. But yeah, we got 10 teams in the league. Sorry, what we got here. Almost done with this last draft. Had money draft. There we go. So you got one draft left. You had a money draft earlier today. How'd those drafts go? I've got a dynasty league tomorrow afternoon at noon, where I've actually got the 1-1. I'll be taking Genty with my first pick. And then just kind of filling in the roster after that. Uh, I gotta hope I can get some running backs. I don't really have any running backs in this league. Some of the guys that I had, I kind of took some shots on last year that just didn't quite pan out. I mean, J.K. Dobbins did all right, but I'm not really counting on him this year. He did great the first part of the season until he got hurt, which is how J.K. Dobbins does us every single year. Um, he's great until he gets hurt. So I don't know that I'm really investing anything in him this year in Denver. You got RJ Harvey there. They really like that kid. But I think JK is going to be the starter coming out of the gate. So it just depends on how long he can stay healthy. Another thing I like about that Denver team is Evan Ingram over there with Bo Nix throwing to him. I absolutely love that this year. Evan Ingram he's shown to be a more than capable tight end, and having a quarterback like Bo Nix and that Denver offense, which I think is going to be pretty good this year. I really like Cortland Sutton this year. I think him and Bo Nix are going to connect a lot this year for touchdowns. I know they've been they were connecting pretty good in the limited preseason work that they had together. So definitely looking forward to seeing what they do this year. Brenton Strange is a guy that I really like this year. Out of Jacksonville. He when he filled in for Evan Ingram last year when he was hurt, he did great. My family draft was so funny. We got a Bills fan in the league, and someone took Josh Allen early last year in like pick 12. So the Bills fan took him at 10. Hey, nothing wrong with that. I mean, Josh Allen, he's arguably going to be the best quarterback in the league. I mean, it's him or it's Lamar, right? Now, do you want to take him with the number 10 pick? Probably not. But sometimes you got to go get your guys, right? You got to go and if you got a guy that you really want, go and get him. Make sure you got him. Even if you have to take him a round or two early, get the guys you want. Get the guys that are on your board. I know there was a few drafts I'm in with Rapid Dave, and I knew there was guys coming up that I really wanted, and it was just a matter of okay, I might have to take this guy around too early because I know RD, I know he's going to want him, and I want to make sure that I get him and he doesn't. And there wasn't any other guys that I was just absolutely in love with either, right? Some of it has to do with are you in love with who's on the board? Is there someone out there where you're like, man, I really like this guy. I want him. I really want him, but I really love this guy. Who knows? You just got to take a look at it. Sometimes trust your board, trust what you think, and go with the guys that you have, even if you got to take them a little bit early. I've been known to take guys a little bit early from time to time just to make sure that I get them because I want to make sure I get certain guys. I've got guys ranked in certain places. And, I kind of feel like, hey, yeah, no, maybe I could have gotten this guy, 2 rounds later, but he's actually the highest guy on my board right now. And because you're the highest guy on my board, I'm going to take you. Right. Uh, Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I know last year, RD did a draft and it was with his cousin in his cousin's league, and he drafted like all Bengals for like the first like 5 picks. He drafted Burrow, Chase Brown, uh, and T. Higgins, and I think he even drafted I think it's Gesicki's the tight end out there. He just went all Bengals, but it was a league he was just kind of having fun with, right? Um, I know I've got a couple leagues that I kind of went a little line hard on them, a little hard on the lines, but yeah, I'm a Lions fan, but I also believe that offense is going to run. It's going to be an insanely good offense. Um, I think Isaac Tesla is going to step up and be a solid number 3. They traded Tim Patrick because of the emergence of Isaac Tesla. I think Jameson Williams is going to have a better year this year than he did last year, and Amon-Ra St. Brown's just going to keep doing what he does, right? Shoot, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, Demo, Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta was okay last year. He didn't have the same year that he did last year. Lions will suck this year, 9-8. Okay, Duncan. Don't worry. I'll favorite that comment and make sure that I go ahead and tag you when we do way better than 9-8. We're winning the North again this year. Kings of the North. That's all there is to it. Here's a fun fact for you, Duncan. You guys just got Micah Parsons, yes. And he selected the number 1. He's going to wear the number 1 jersey there in Green Bay, and it's to symbolize to go along with his. No need to be rude. No one's being rude here. To go along with his one playoff sack, his one career playoff sack. He went with the number 1 to go with his one career playoff sack. So yeah, he kind of disappears in the playoffs. He kind of, I don't know, sucks against the run. If you want to eliminate him, just run the ball, which that's what Detroit does. Look at games Micah Parsons had against Detroit. It's nothing. We're not really worried about that or concerned about that. You got rid of your run stopper to take a pass rusher, and all we do, I mean, we run the crap out of the ball. So good luck with that. That's all I got to say. Cowboys. I mean, but he wasn't doing anything when he got in there. Again, non-existent. Look at Micah Parsons' numbers in the second half of every season, and he's just non-existent. He comes out of the gates hot, on fire, does great, and then just kind of disappears. Poof, gone, like Kaiser Soze. He's just gone. You'll never see him again. But hey, good luck with that. Enjoy it. He's going to make everyone else better on the Green Bay D. Okay. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. The owner and head coach, a trash in Dallas. I mean, Jerry is what Jerry is, right? Jerry runs the most successful business. He runs a successful business. That's what he runs. Double and triple team still get sacks. I'm just telling you. But here's how you stop it. You just run. You just run the ball. That's all you got to do. And he's horrible against the run. Run the ball right at him. That's what you do. If you run the ball at him or run the ball, you don't have to worry about Micah. And that's what Detroit's going to do. They're a two-headed monster with Demo and Gibbs, and they're going to run the ball. Yeah. No, he won't be Defensive Player of the Year. That's not happening. He isn't going to be Defensive Player of the Year. He's just not that guy. He's not that guy, buddy. He's not that guy. He's all right. He's pretty good, but he's not. I'm not sounding like Michael. Look, I will. I'll favorite them all, Duncan. Look, Michael, is your team worse without Micah? Yes. 100% yes. But he's not this be-all, end-all generational talent. He's just not. Micah's a good football player. But you want to take him out of a game? Just run the ball. That's it. That's all you have to do. And that's what teams do. Dallas was one of the worst teams in the league against the run, if not the worst, with Micah Parsons there. So I'm just telling you, do I think the Cowboys are better? No, absolutely not. Do I think if they should have gotten more? Yes, they definitely should have gotten more. The Jets got more for Jamal Adams than the Cowboys did for Micah Parsons, which is absurd, right? Jamal Adams, that's a safety who was older at the time, if I'm not mistaken. And they got 2 first, a third, and a player. So here's what I think of this trade and the comp to this trade. Remember when the Bears traded away Khalil Mack? And then what happened to him? Kind of non-existent. Or they traded for Khalil Mack or whatever it is. When Khalil Mack got traded, it's the same thing as the Khalil Mack trade. Everyone's like, oh, they was taking them to the next level. They didn't. He didn't. He pretty much disappeared off the face of the earth after that. He had some good seasons, but nothing great. He's the new Khalil Mack. He'll be good in Green Bay. He was 4 years older than Parsons is now. It doesn't matter. Look at how dominant he was at the time, though. Insanely dominant, and then just gone. Just gone. Micah's not the best defensive player in the league. He's just not. He's now the highest paid non-quarterback. It's not because he got old. It's just overrated. I'm just telling you. Hey, don't be excited. You got a really good player. Your Packers think that they're a player away. That's why they make this move, because this goes against everything Green Bay does. Green Bay doesn't make big trades like this. They draft, they develop. They don't do this, right? They think they're a player away from being able to get there. They think. Again, they think. This move doesn't make you better than the Lions. It just doesn't. Hutch is better than Micah. So he's not even the best player in the division, best defensive player in the division, because Hutchinson's better than him. He is. That Detroit defense is better. They were a top 10 defense last year with nobody being there. Dude, Aaron Rodgers is. Oh, man. I think that's just going to be a train wreck this year. Rodgers there in Pittsburgh. I was really hoping, and I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I was really hoping that they were going to do Hard Knocks there so you can see the train wreck that it was going to be. You had people just going crazy over a play in training camp, talking about how Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf are going to run the league, and he's throwing a pass to him, and DK dives and catches it 10 yards out of bounds. Like, Aaron Rodgers has no desire to play football anymore. I don't know why he's still playing football. He's had one foot out the door for the last several years. It wasn't great in New York. I mean, heck, he played three snaps his first year there. Then last year's can A-Rod and Tay-Tay's boy just retire? I think this will definitely be the last year for Travis Kelce. I think there's a lot of regret with him with the last couple of years. He's come out and admitted that, yeah, I've been distracted by outside things, and I need to get my focus back on football. I think them losing the Super Bowl last year really kind of put some things in perspective for him. So I think he said he would. I think he will. I honestly do. I mean, they're getting married. I think he's going to go and take one more run at it and try and win a Super Bowl. And if they do, cool. I mean, definitely if they win, he's going to retire, right? If they lose, I think he'll still retire. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he just needs to go away. I don't know. Like, and he talks every year like he's going to retire, but then he keeps coming back. And keeps coming back and coming back and coming back. And you're like, dude, just stop. He said publicly he will retire next year no matter what. Okay, I hadn't heard that. I hadn't seen that. I hadn't heard that. I'd be curious to see that. I'll have to look that up when we're done. But yeah, no, I haven't seen or heard that anywhere. I'll look it up though. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers needs to retire. Tua needs to retire. I'll be honest with you. That guy's one hit away from being a walking vegetable. His doctors tell me he needs to retire, but he just keeps coming back. If he gets one more concussion, he's done. He's got to stop if he gets another one. And I think that's kind of why I mean, they didn't invest a high draft pick, but they drafted Quinn Ewers, and I think they're looking at him to possibly be a pretty good guy. Shoot, we're not that far off from when everyone was thinking Quinn Ewers was going to be a number one pick. A couple of years ago, it was Quinn Ewers was going to be the 1-1 when he came out, and then it just kind of wasn't. So I think Tua's got to. I like Tua, and that Dolphins team is way better when Tua's there. If Tua's not there, you don't play A-Chain. A-Chain can't run that without Tua being there, without the threat of the pass. And they haven't really had anybody there to back him up and do good. I was sad to see Jonnu Smith leave Miami and go to Pittsburgh, because I think now I don't even – Jonnu Smith's not even being drafted, right? How about the worst college game of the year? I mean, you're going to have to – we talk about the Texas game today, 14-7. Like, and Arch was just – I mean, well, I think he was like 5 of 10 for 25 yards in the first half. Absurd. That's ridiculous. Yeah. How about this? How about Alabama getting curb stomped by Florida State, 31-17, um, losing their first opener since I think it's like last 23 years. They've won their last like 23 openers. The fourth he got better. I mean, but you gotta again, it's tough for the kid, right? First game out of the gates, defending national champions. Now they've lost a lot of players, but their defense is still pretty good. Um, Julian Sand didn't do much, excuse me, over there for Alabama, not for Alabama, for Ohio State at all. Um, just an ugly game where the defenses showed up and played good, and the offenses didn't show up. Uh, yeah, just ugly. Um, but I didn't get to watch too much. I got to watch a little bit of that Texas game. We were in a rain delay for the kiddo, and we were out at BJ's Brew House, getting some food and stuff while we were waiting for the rain to pass by. So I was able to watch a little bit of the game there. But yeah, just looking back at it, looking back at stats, crazy. The best thing that come out of that game was that you had that picture come out of Ryan Day where you could see he has his nipple pierced through his shirt. I think that's the best thing that come out of that game is the fact that now everybody knows Ryan Day has his nipple pierced. Probably the only thing good to come out of that game. Texas ranked number 1 overall for the first time ever to open up the season and lose it just like that. So, I don't know. I don't get too much into college football. I'm usually really busy on Saturdays. And I don't know. I just haven't gotten into college football in a little while. I enjoyed this season a couple of years ago. I'm a Michigan guy, and when Michigan won the national championship, that was fun. But outside of that, yeah. Today I ain't looked too much. Alabama got beat by Florida State, an unranked Florida State. Uh, Ohio State beats Texas. Um, Not a whole lot. I don't know. You had Boise State get beat. Clemson lost. That game just became a final a little while ago. LSU beat Clemson 17-10. So your 1 and your 4 teams both lost. For the kiddo today, if you're talking about the kiddo, they went 1-2 today. She's on a new team this season. The last team that we played was really freaking good. She just moved up age groups, just moved up to the 12U. Pitched all right today. Little wild, but she pitched 3 innings, 6 walks, but also had 6 strikeouts. So we did lose that game 5-2. But all in all, pretty good. Looking forward to hopefully bracket play tomorrow. We're supposed to get more rain, so we may or may this tournament may or may not be over. We'll see, but hopefully it holds off. We're playing on turf, so the rain doesn't necessarily stop us. It just depends on how hard it rains and all that. So, man, what else have we had going on in the NFL? Not a ton, and it's been kind of quiet on the NFL front. Let's see here. Yeah, it's been it's been pretty crazy, but yeah, been pretty quiet on the NFL front. Not a whole lot going on. I don't think there was any. I don't think there was any big cuts. Everyone's used till right. There wasn't any big shocking cuts. I don't think. Nothing that really stood out to me as far as players being cut. Um, no huge moves, anything like that. I think we're just waiting. Anxiety gets you to that first games are played. Yep. Yeah, we're just waiting, right? And then here's the thing, and we talked about it last year. You go out week 1 and you lose. Quite the biggest trade of the year happened. I mean, we pretty much knew that he was getting traded. Like it wasn't like out of nowhere like the Luka trade, right? The Luka trade was boom, 11 o'clock at night on like a Friday, you know, hey, Luca just got traded to the Lakers. This was you had an owner and a player that were at an impasse that were bashing each other left and right in the media. Um, Jerry refusing to talk to Micah's agent. Um, Micah, had his back issue, right? Uh, you thought you were. I mean, that was also a thought too, because it also like just restructured CD's contract to save a bunch of money. I can't lie, I honestly thought it was going to be just. I mean, you thought it was going to be like that, but then you were also getting some reports the last several days that the Cowboys were open to the possibility of trading him and were listening, right? Um, so you're like, okay, and you didn't have that with the CD, you didn't have that with Dak. Um, there was no talks leading up to it about a trade and about it being serious, right? There was talks of a trade, but nothing that was serious. Wait till the last possible second, as much publicity as possible, then sign. Yeah, but I think they just reached a point to where I don't know. They reached a point of no return, right? I think part of it was Jerry was trying to play it up for the media, um, but then also Micah. I think Micah was playing along for a minute, but then Jerry started. He did something that he doesn't typically do, and he just started throwing him under the bus, right? And I think that's where I think Jerry took some things personally, and you can't take this stuff personal. You just can't. For Jerry, any headline is worth whatever extra money he has to pay. It is. It is. And I think he was gonna pay him until it just kind of got to this point to where I think he got upset. I think he felt betrayed. I think Micah felt betrayed. Shoot, you can go back to I think it was in like April or something like that. Um, Micah, there's video out there. Micah was doing a podcast or something like that, and someone made a comment about Micah being traded to the Green Bay Packers, and Jordan will be like, "Oh, I would love to have Micah on the team." And Micah made the comment, "Sorry, I'm a 360 guy. I'm here for life." He did. He called him Michael so many times. Oh my gosh, it was absurd. Yeah, but I mean, and Micah said, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm a cowboy for life." And I really think he wanted to be a cowboy for life. But then they got into the thick of it and it got sticky and feelings got hurt. And I just think they reached a point of no return. They really did. And unfortunately, it ended with, for I don't think Micah wanted to leave. Um, But at the end of the day, he did. I know Jerry didn't really want him to leave. He's going to go and put on a brave face and say, hey, we've been discussing this for a long time, the possibility of trading him. This trade just didn't happen overnight. And I don't think the trade happened overnight. I think yeah, they were probably talking about it for a few days. And I think there was a lot of things going back and forth. Yeah, seeing him on draft day, how excited he was to be a Cowboy, thought he would be, yeah, 100%. And he, like I said, he said that back in like April, like 4 months ago. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be a cowboy for life. And then here we are. He's not. So we'll see how it goes. Only time will tell, you know. Um, I don't know. And some of it's just going to have to do with depending on what do the Cowboys do with those two first round picks. You're seeing excuse me. You're seeing a lot of things out there now. And again, these are just rumors, speculations that Jerry's going to do everything he can to make sure Arch Manning becomes a Cowboy. And so now he's got two extra first round picks. Who's to say he doesn't try and package those up? But then you got to wait and see when Arch comes out, right? A lot of the thought is Arch isn't coming out this year. He's going to come out next year. He's going to play 2 years in college. And I think that today's performance, I think that kind of solidified it because I think something that would cause him to come out is if they run the gauntlet, they win the national championship, he wins the Heisman, all of that. Now, could that still happen? Maybe, but I think it's very unlikely now that Texas is going to win the national championship. Arch is going to be, man, we got crushed at home last year. We need help on defense. Yeah, you do. But here's one thing I will say. I think Matt Eberflus is a good defensive coach. I don't think he's a good head coach, but I think he's a good defensive coordinator. Now, I do also think Eberflus is like, I came here to coach a defense with Micah Parsons, and now I don't have Micah Parsons. And so I think the first couple weeks will be pretty rough. But I think it will get better. I think I don't think the Cowboys defense is better without Micah Parsons. But I think they will find a way to exist and not be awful. How about that? They won't be awful. They're not going to be great. They're not going to be better than they would have if they had Micah, but they won't be a complete dumpster fire. How about that? And I think Eberflus is a good defensive coordinator. I think he's a horrible head coach. Kenny Clark's going to help. He's going to help you guys stop the run. Now, Kenny Clark is also getting ready to turn 30 years old. You don't really want to look at a sack number because I think he had like 1 or 2 last year, but he's not a sack guy. He's a run stopper. He's a guy in the middle trying to stop the run. And what do you need to do against Philly? You need to stop the run. What do you got to do against the better teams in the league? You got to stop the run. All the best teams in the league can all run the football. So Clark he's turning 30 this year, 100%. Probably still got a little bit left in the tank. You're probably going to they'll probably get a good 2 years out of him. 1-2 years. Yeah. And we'll see. Like I said, I think Eberflus will figure something out. A guy that here's one guy that Dallas has that I don't think I think he's needed a change of scenery is James Houston. James Houston is pretty good at getting pressure on the quarterback. He had a really great rookie year with Detroit. He's battled injuries for the last couple of years and just kind of fallen off. And a change of scenery, I think, will be pretty good for him. He's not Micah, but he's going to get to the quarterback. There's the guy, I can't remember the guy's name. These guys drafted out of Clemson, I think it was, who's pretty good. But not Micah. But here in a couple of years, he could be pretty darn good. He's a guy who had, I think, 17 sacks last year in college. 17, 18 sacks, if I'm not mistaken. So there's some potential there. Again, you don't have Micah. But yeah, no one is Micah. No, 100%. I get it, Michael. I get it. I'm just here to tell you it's not all doom and gloom. How about that? Here's the thing. You weren't winning the Super Bowl with Micah this year. That's what they want us to believe about Luka. No, Luka is different than Luka carried the team to the finals the year before. You were in the NBA. Luka and Micah are two completely different. Don't even. Okay. Micah disappears in the playoffs. When you get there, defense has been spotty at best. They're horrible. They've been horrible against the run with Micah there. One of the worst teams in the league against the run. Luka is a guy that can carry a team. Got no horse in the race. I got kids. So I gave up the Cowboys and picked up fantasy football. There you go. Yeah. But I'm just Luka. There's no comparing those two traits. To me, there isn't. Luka is a generational talent that can carry a team to the finals, and I do believe he will win a few finals before he's all is said and done. But he's shown he can carry a team to the finals. He's shown he can win in the playoffs. He's shown he can be the best player in the league at times. Micah's not that guy. He's not that guy. Hope to live longer. Sundays were too stressed. Hey, I'm a lifelong Lions fan, man. And things have been rough until we got Dan Campbell in here. You know, my early days were all right, you know, with Barry, but we got to the conference finals once, and then lost to that Washington team. Doug Williams ended up winning it all. But yeah, life's been rough, and then these last few years have been great, right? Still kind of finished with some heartbreak. Last year sucked, losing to Washington. The year before that, getting to the conference finals and then being up and then blowing the lead in the second half sucked. But you know what? We'll be all right. Campbell, dude, I love Dan Campbell. I absolutely love Dan Campbell. I think he's amazing. Um, he's the best coach we've ever had for sure. Right? Like I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I think he's one of the top coaches in the league. I really do. Um, I think a lot of people are writing the team off because now you don't have, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson are gone. These young QBs are running the league. Yeah, some of them. I mean, but Pat Mahomes is getting up there in age. He's still doing his thing. I think Jared Goff has been doing his thing the last couple of years. Baker, I think Baker's been he's been great the last few years, right? Hell, Flacco's still in the freaking league. How about that? Flacco still in the league, starter. Some of these young QBs, yeah, they're freaking great. Some of them are having. Here's the thing: these guys are having success early. Love what? Love what, Duncan? No, no, stop. Love's not that guy. He's not that guy, buddy. He's not that guy. Exactly, Michael. Who? But yeah, no, you've got. Here's the thing: some of these young quarterbacks are having Love. He's not running the league. He's not. It's the most absurd thing you've ever said, Duncan. That Love is running the league. He was mediocre at best last year. He wasn't that great. He was hurt all year. He started this year off hurt. You're not Super Bowl bound, buddy. You're not. It's just not happening. It's not in the cards for you. Thanks for playing. It's been fun. You're not Super Bowl bound, buddy. You're just not. But anyway, these young quarterbacks are having success early because they're being paid so less, right? They're on those rookie contracts, and teams are able to build around them and build great teams around them. But then when these quarterbacks get older and their rookie contracts are up and they're getting paid all this money, now the teams can't put as much talent around them. Look at like Seattle, for example. They won their Super Bowl when Russell Wilson was on his rookie contract. And then once he got paid, then they weren't able to put all the pieces around him. He just has to make better decisions. Once the game slows down for him, he will be. Yeah, I mean, I never bought into Love, honestly. All the times he came in for Rodgers, he wasn't that great. Yeah, it's still young and all that, but just the fact that people are just trying to all automatically anoint him the next Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre with Green Bay. He's not. He hasn't shown to be half the quarterback those two guys were. Not even half. And just be honest, I mean, they're both a little bit overrated. They both won a Super Bowl. If you're really that great, you'll win more than one, you know? But hey, to each their own. Support your guys. Think your guys are great. Hey, I get it. I get it. I do. As a Lions fan, I get it. But let's also be a little realistic here. They're not Super Bowl bound. That's why I feel like he makes bad decisions because he thinks he's a gun. He does, and he's not. He never was really a gunslinger. He wasn't a gunslinger in college. So, and he tries to make these plays. Like you'll see him try and throw across his body and go all the way over to the other side of the field. He doesn't have the arm for it. He doesn't have the arm strength for it. He's trying to do Brett Favre plays, but he's not Brett Favre. He doesn't have Brett Favre's talent. Doesn't have Brett Favre's arm strength. He's not that guy. He's trying to be, but he's not. He's just not. He's a pretender. So, but that being said, he's still young. He's still got some time to develop. But also like Green Bay, hey, how about get some wide receivers who can stay healthy? Because you don't. You're having to draft a wide receiver in the first round every year because the guys you're drafting can't stay healthy or never come to anything. I think Bo Nix is pretty good. He's got some arm strength. I think he's in a good situation. I like Denver because they've got a really good defense. They've got some offensive weapons. They've got a head coach that knows a thing or two in Sean Payton, who's starting to look better now that he's starting to get his team built around him. Right, the first year or two was rough because he just didn't have any of his guys. Maybe I think it might even just been the first year, and then he got Bo Nix last year, and they eased him into the offense. He started week 1. They eased him into it. They didn't ask him to do a lot. They let him gain some confidence, and they let him build up. Dude, I absolutely love Baker. And I think the Browns getting rid of Baker was one of the dumbest things that they ever did. And that's why they're in the situation they're in. They were so desperately trying to find this be all end all quarterback when they had the guy. You had Baker. Baker took you to the playoffs for the first time in 95,000 years. Baker gets you there. And then, yeah, a little bit of a rougher year, but didn't have a ton of talent around him. And then you go and you trade for Deshaun Watson. Like, that was just dumb. Like, this guy's got all the stuff against him. He's going to be out of the league for like a year. And sometimes you just can't recoup from that. And he hasn't been able to. It used to be they give him a year or two. Now it's 8 games, right? I don't know, man. But yeah, I'm happy for Baker. I think he found the right team for him there with Tampa. Dude, slinging it there. He's fun to watch. I enjoy watching Tampa football. I love watching Baker. He's got Mike Evans over there and Chris Godwin when he was healthy, right? But Godwin's not healthy anymore. I don't know how much more use Godwin's going to get, but Emeka Egbuka looks pretty good. That's a guy that I'm getting on my teams a little bit later. Then I'm hoping he steps up and he does some things this year. He's got the quarterback to give him the ball. He's just got to get out there and get open and make the plays. But yeah, no, they've got a great run game there with Bucky Irving. Rashid White is, maybe a third down back if they don't just keep Bucky on the field the whole time. I think the longer the season went on last year, the more and more Bucky got the ball, and the less Rashid White got to play because Bucky he forced his way onto the field, and once he got out there and once he was playing, you couldn't take him out because he was just so good. So, but yeah, man, we're less than a week away from football. This time next week, we'll be talking start, sit, hopefully probably a little bit earlier than this, but no tournament next weekend. So I should be able to be on earlier next Saturday for sure. We'll be talking start, sit. We'll be discussing the Thursday night game, how those guys did, how the Cowboys looked. Are the defending champs? Did they come out with the gates firing, ready to go? We'll see. But looking forward to it. Can't wait for the season to start. Can't wait for Thursday night. Um, we'll be on at 6 p.m. Central Time, talking start sits, getting to talk about the Thursday night game a little bit, the players in the game. Maybe throw a little DFS lineup together for a Thursday night game. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then we'll actually be live over on Strikeout Beer during the game, talking about the game as it's happening, as well as our other stuff too. But yeah, looking forward to it. Cannot freaking wait. We're so close to fantasy football. We're so close to NFL football. It's going to be a fun season. I'm looking forward to the SB Fantasy Football Listener League. Again, I will be recording a short video on a weekly basis talking about that league. I am going to be recording a video this week just talking about some of the projections for the league. I'm going to go over, what Yahoo is projecting, where they're projecting everyone to finish. Talk about the matchups for the first week, see how they look. See if, hey, let's go through some lineups and just see, hey, someone making a mistake here, someone making a mistake there. Do they need to move this guy, move that guy? I think we'll talk about, hey, there'll be some things that we talk about on a weekly basis as far as mistakes people made in their lineups, for sure. Hey, if you had just played this guy instead of that guy, you would have won this week, right? We'll talk about that stuff. We'll talk about how every week goes. We'll preview the next week for the listener league. Keep up with it. I think the listener league is going to be a lot of fun. We got some prizes we're going to give away at the end of the season to whoever wins it. Rapid Dave's talking about some pretty cool stuff. So looking forward to that. But I can't wait. I can't wait, guys. Looking forward to football season. It's so close. I can taste it. It's so freaking close. Glad to be back out here on Saturday night. Looking forward to that. Do us a favor if you haven't already. Go and give us a follow over on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, as well as here on YouTube. Follow us on all of those sites. There is some content that is exclusive to some of those sites. Some of it has to revolve around copyrighted material, apparently. I don't know. There's some videos that we'll post on one site that won't let us post it on another site, and vice versa. So if you want to get all the stuff that we're posting, follow us on all of them. Plus, it helps us give us the ability to go live on all of these sites. And once we hit 100 followers over on Facebook, we'll be able to go live on Facebook as well. I think on the Saturday nights, we're going to start. I think I'm going to start going live on TikTok over here on my phone while we're doing that. Just looking for, I don't know, we're just going to have some fun. We'll be posting videos throughout the week asking you guys for what kind of advice are you looking for? What are your big start sit questions? All that fun stuff. We're really going to ramp things up this season. Last season was our first full season of the SB Fantasy Football Podcast. And this year we're looking to just kind of take it to a whole nother level. Can't wait. Super excited about it. Duncan, thank you for being here. I got a piece of chicken in the back of my throat. Just won't go away. Duncan, thank you for being in here. Michael, thank you again for being in here. As always, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back later. As always, I'm Alan. I'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.